Okay, anyway. All right. So, hello, this is Edgar again. I got my wife here, Deanna. Now, I'm doing this video. The reason I bring my wife in is just to, I've done what, 4 videos, I think?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know, something like that, before giving my perspective and kind of talking about why I want to do this. But I'm not alone. This is not just a masculine man talking about what he thinks of the world and talking to other men who share my perspective in an echo chamber. No, I mean, I got my wife here. And, she has some of her own perspectives, but, obviously they work together with mine. That's why we're married. We work well together. And, she teaches me, I teach her. Yeah, and that's just how it is. So I guess I want to start by kind of talking about, we've been married for 10 years or something, right?
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah.
She keeps track. I don't keep track. But we know each other since I was 11, and she was 13, 2 years older.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get together till I was about, 30-ish or something like that.
Yeah, you just turned 30.
But, I had been through my things. I had relationships before her. And I guess I'll talk about how my relationships failed before. I don't know if they failed. They just didn't work out.
Yeah,
And
mine
why?
failed.
Well, I don't know. Fail means, I don't know, my eyes fail means that we tried and we just couldn't get it figured out.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened with me.
No.
There was lots of reasons why I got the hell out.
Yeah.
And at the time, I mean, in retrospect, I look back and it makes sense why.
Yeah.
But basically, I was single for a lot. I had a lot of flings. But the couple of girlfriends I did have, the one thing they all had in common was they tried to control me, which is to say they all felt like they had a right to tell me how to be a man, how to dress, how to act, who to spend time with, like more controlling than a mother would be, or even like an overbearing mother.
Yeah.
And something inside me just never put up with that. I know other guys put up with that type of stuff, where it's like happy wife, happy life. And if the woman complains, I gotta go home, guys, I can't hang out. Oh, I can't, I gotta ask permission. And that's just never been me, and I never acted that way. I might have put up with stuff that I shouldn't have in past relationships, but it was never me. So I ended up single for a lot, was in Hawaii, all that stuff. Then me and Mama, we'll just call you D. Yeah, well, me and D. Sounds weird calling you D.
I know.
Me and my wife.
I know.
My wife here was married before.
Mm-hmm.
Tell the people why you think those. Well, I know why they failed, so I don't need to know. You tell your side.
It failed because I tried so hard to keep the traditional marriage alive in a modern society,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't going to work. Besides the fact that it was kind of the other way around. I guess he was controlling.
Yeah.
And
I think you gave a broken man a chance.
oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
And over and over again, because I think in some ways maybe I thought that I could fix him with
Mm-hmm.
being that, because of the fact that I am more traditional and have always believed to be the traditional wife, that I thought I could fix him being that way.
So why don't you tell them why you were traditional? Because obviously, oops, sorry, I kicked the table. Traditional, we know what that means to us.
Right,
So
right.
Explain what traditional means to you
Traditional.
and why you are that way.
So traditional means to me a man and a woman are
A real man and a real woman.
Right. Yes, are the way God created us. A real man, a real woman, Adam, Eve, right? Creating a relationship, and maintaining that. Having that connection and having children and growing old and everything else. And the reason why I have that foundation.
Well, no, get more into, okay, I mean, you're just describing procreation, a man and woman get together. But what makes you traditional? Like, that separates you from these modern boss babes? I mean, what makes you traditional?
I am understanding, I'm supportive,
Mm-hmm.
I'm submissive, and not submissive in the way where it's like he tells me what to do and I only listen to what he says, because that's so not true.
Yeah.
I have my own opinions and I have my own thoughts, and bounce things off of each other. Sometimes we don't agree, and it's fine. But most of the stuff we do agree, because
You know,
we can.
a big thing with you is you don't confront me like a man would. A lot of my exes, they talk to me. If it was a man speaking to me the way they spoke to me, we'd be getting ready to fight.
Right.
Like if a man talked
Yeah.
to me that way, then I would be
sense.
like, who the hell you think you are
Right.
to talk to me that way? You better respect me or we're gonna end up fighting.
Yeah, because
And you've never ever come at me that way.
right.
I think you have you have respect for me
Respect,
because
yeah.
I am a man.
Exactly.
You understand that not would never hurt you, but
Right.
it's just disrespectful. It's,
Right,
it's cowardly to disrespect somebody knowing they can't do anything to you.
Right.
When you wouldn't do that, you wouldn't speak to your girlfriends that way.
Right.
You wouldn't speak to anybody that way. But
Exactly.
for whatever reason, all these girls think, well, he's my man. I could treat him how he wants.
Mm-hmm.
And you're the opposite. Instead of, the relationships I had, I saw girls act a certain way towards me that they didn't act towards anybody else, but not in a good way. So, and I've seen this in other relationships with females where they're like, oh, he's just a good little boy. Like they talk to their other half like he's a dog, and like, shut up, don't speak, and they talk down to him. Like as soon as they become the boyfriend, it's like they get downgraded to a pet.
Yeah.
But they treat the whole world with respect, and you're the opposite.
Yeah, I just don't.
You treat everybody respectful, but I get special respect, special treatment
Yeah.
because I am that man.
Yeah, exactly.
I know you're not. My wife's not good at explaining.
No,
herself.
I'm not. I'm not. We've
But-
had many conversations,
yeah.
and my communication and
Yeah,
explaining
yeah,
is, but
But that's my perspective of you, of how you treated me. And when we got together, you saw I got dimmer a little bit. Anyways, when we got together, you were nice because we know each other from before since we were kids, and you were nice. You were who I thought you were. But as the months and years went by, you became nicer and you opened up more. And I think that's what real femininity is, not traditional, but femininity is. Femininity comes with love, patience, tenderness, and femininity is, on the outside, a feminine woman is pleasant, friendly, cooperative, I guess. So,
Yeah.
like when you go to if I go to a grocery store and I open the door for a feminine woman, she goes, thank you. Smile real graciously and keep on going.
right.
And be friendly. I could strike up a conversation with a feminine woman, and she's graceful. She's not loud. She doesn't try to talk over me. And these masculine women, you try to open a door for them, they're like, nobody open a door for me.
Right.
Yeah, some masculine women are even more masculine than men.
Yeah.
If I open the door for a guy, they're always like, thanks, brother.
Yeah, exactly.
But so I think, well, that's femininity to me.
Mm-hmm.
But you, as of traditional, I know I'm like, didn't let you finish, but traditional, I want you to explain to them, I know what makes you traditional for me, but try to, think about the modern woman and how they are. See, you don't even know what they're like.
I don't know
This
much.
woman
I
is so
only-
much in her femininity, she has no idea what these crazy, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But go ahead, traditional,
Traditional. I forget where I left off. Like usual.
But just, okay, you said,
Yeah, that I'm supportive. I cooperative, submissive, and not in that kind of like
in
control
a
me.
good way,
Yeah.
because I'm submissive. too.
He's like, I don't know. It's like I know he's the lead, and I support whatever goes on or whatever he chooses to direct us in. If I feel that it's not something that will benefit us or our family, I will definitely bring it up and say, hey, yeah, I don't know, are we sure?
Yeah.
And discuss it, of course.
Yeah.
But he's never just, I let him lead blindly and we end up wherever we end up. No,
Yeah.
it's always, but yeah, so.
But you know what, with what you just said there, it's yeah, that's a good point because, I make a lot of decisions. We're in Texas now because of you.
Yeah.
That wasn't my choice. She brought it up to me. And she's my freaking wife. If she has something, she comes to me, I'm all ears. I'll stop the freaking world from spinning to listen to her. But like you said, I come to you for everything. And that's the thing about our relationship. You're so feminine, which to me, it makes me feel like I can come to. Because if you weren't feminine, if you weren't masculine, like if I talk to my buddies about something, they're either you can't really talk to them about anything seriously because some of it's sarcastic and you just can't connect with them on a certain level with maybe your brothers if you got a really good brother, but a good wife, a traditional masculine man, traditional masculine woman, the husband wants to run home and I gotta tell my wife because your opinion is so honest, and even if you think I'm not gonna like it, she delivers it in a tender way.
Right.
Like, And I'm like, okay, shit, here it comes. But it's okay because you've respected me so much. I don't want to share it with anybody else.
Yeah.
Anything that happens.
Yeah.
And not only that, it stimulates me to come up with more ideas because me coming to you with ideas, I get rewarded from your honesty.
Yeah.
So when you get rewarded for doing something, you want to do more of it.
Right.
So it stimulates me as a man to want to create more opportunities and do more things. So that's the dynamic. It's like your femininity is it's like a safe haven, you know?
Yeah.
You know how those college, university students got a safe space?
Yeah.
So do I, but it's like my wife. So it's a safe space for me to come and just be honest, even if I think the idea is stupid.
Right.
It's never stupid with you. It may be stupid to somebody else, but it's not with you. So it allows me to be more of a man and go out and challenge the world because I know I got this guardian angel like to back me up and be honest with me. So that, I mean, I guess that's traditional, right? It's like the man is leading and he's taking on the world, like in front of the family, taking all the bullets that the world has to offer. And you stand behind me, and when I come in licking my wounds, you help me lick my wounds, and I go back out there. And it's just like I come home, I recharge, and I go out and try to kick ass. I come home, recharge, and I go back out. And that's just like it feeds a man so much. And
that's all a man needs.
That's all a man needs. That's
he provides so much. That's all he needs is just that tender, loving care when he comes back.
And appreciation.
Wiped out and worn out and just And
it's like that's the main thing I want, like these young men to understand. I'm even like, okay, so I went to an orientation today. I'm starting a new sales job. And one of the things that came up in there when we first sat down was, I didn't even tell you about this. So they were talking about...
See, he already told me all about it because he was so excited.
They were talking about working late. The manager's talking about working late hours. And, you know, your wives and all the couple of dudes there that were married, like, oh, yeah, my wife, you know, I'm going to have to, hopefully she's okay. I'll just take her out to dinner. And you know, it's like you got to buy the right...
to work
It's like you're trying to be a man, go out and do what you got to do. And this job pays well, so yeah, you're going to be working late hours. Who gives a crap?
Yeah.
You're going to work odd hours so you can make that big money. The wife should be at home, like, go get it, babe. Go handle it. But the way they were talking, they're already describing that the wife's going to be giving them a hard time. So no matter what they do, they feel entitled to harass you.
Right.
So what are you working for? That's like having a slave driver. It's like you're going out there and doing your best to provide, and they still crack the whip on you. It's horrible, but I guess we describe tradition. So that's how we are. There's a sneak peek in how we are, but how we got there. So I already kind of talked about how. What I liked, I talked about my relationships and why I didn't last very long with females is because they always challenged me. They never just, you know, and I wanted to hide things from them. And I never, ever wanted to live my life that way, regardless of how many of my friends were like, oh man, you just got to deal with it. That's what a lot of my dumb buddies told me, and I knew it was wrong. I stuck to my guns. And when me and you got together, you know, one of the first things, because, you know, I have stepkids. They're not my stepkids. They're mine from her previous marriage. When we got together, you know, that was a thing. I, honestly, truly, I wasn't too worried about it. I don't know why I wasn't, but my friends around me were like, hey, man, are you sure? Are you sure? And that's one of the things I hear in the red pill space that I guess I'm kind of going to be a part of it. We're more Christ. We're connected to Christ, right? But there, a lot of my buddies like, hey, man, are you sure? Are you sure? You know, she's got kids, and I was like, just wait till you meet her. Wait till you meet her. For one, I like kids. That's the unique thing about me when it comes to other dudes. I'm a rugged guy, but I genuinely love kids. I love people. The kids, I love kids. We would have more.
Yeah, I know.
So I knew Deanna already from we were kids. I knew she deserved a fair shot. I mean, I was going to give it a fair try. Regardless, even though I dated girls with kids before, the girls I dated with kids before, it didn't work out because of the kids. It didn't work out because of them.
Right.
They were not good. So I had never had a problem with that just because I like kids. So then when we got together, one of the main things, when I realized we were going to be serious, I mean, we both realized real quick that we were going to be serious. I remember I told you, I was like, look, because, you know, the biological is no good. And I knew that. You knew that. And I told Deanna straight up, like, look, he doesn't want to be a part of their lives. Yeah. So let him go. Let him get the hell out of here.
Because I tried too hard to make sure he stayed in that relationship.
Yeah, and you were stressing on it.
And because that's what I felt was right, is that he's the father. He needs to take care of his kids and be involved. But
He was trying to use them against you.
Yeah.
And that's when we realized he's more of a bad influence in their lives than he is good. And the only reason he was engaging with his kids was to try to turn them against you. So that's when I was like, screw him. We both knew he didn't really want to be a part of their lives. So we made it easy for him to leave. And as soon as they left, I told her, like, look, they're young. They'll forget his ass. Shouldn't be cursing so much. Sorry, God.
Yes.
They'll forget his butt. It was like, if I'm going in, I'm gonna go in full force or nothing. I'm not playing this halfway game where these kids are acting up and I can't regulate them. So we made a decision. I was like, I'm taking over. I was pulling them by the ears, and I took over as if I was their biological, and now they love me as if I am their biological, and there's no separation. You know, now we got our 2 little boys that we made together, and they're all the same to me. You know what I mean? All of them love me the same. I love all of them, and you know, and I guess what I'm trying to say is, you had plenty of reason to be bitter because of your past relationships. You had plenty of reasons not to trust, and the only reason we worked out so well was, for one, I didn't bring anything into it, and I had been single for such a long time, so I didn't have any baggage. But you were smart enough to not let that crap affect us.
Right.
And when bad experiences and baggage did start showing its ugly head, you talked to me about it, and we dealt with it together. You like, I'm feeling a certain way, and I know it's because of X, Y, and Z. And I was like, well, let's deal with it, and we fixed it together.
Yeah.
So that was you being feminine, trusting me, bringing a problem to me, and me as a man. Most men like to fix problems.
Yeah.
You brought a problem to me, and I was like, well, let's fix it, and we fixed it. And you know, we got past some hurdles, and it's been beautiful. Me and this woman, we don't fight, we don't argue. We definitely have discussions, but they never get heated.
No.
It just doesn't happen because you follow your feminine role. You're supportive, you're loving, you're submissive. Submissive in the way where, for me, submissive from a woman just means you're not gonna try to, what am I trying to say? You're not gonna try to make decisions that contradict mine. Because what I've experienced, not just from relationships in the past, but even like, you know, like running a business, right? Like with my brother, he felt he had the right to come in and challenge some of my decisions when those decisions were made from a logical place in my mind. And I'm, you know, as a father and a husband, you have to make decisions where they don't benefit me, but it benefits everybody else. And you trust me, and you, when I come to you with one of these decisions, you know that's what I'm doing. You know I'm coming to you with something that may not benefit us, but it's going to benefit the kids, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So you don't challenge when it's unnecessary. You don't question unnecessarily. You question at the right times. You support me if I need something. If I'm stressed, you're like, let me take care of you. And you give me that love and support, and vice versa. You know, when I see something's wrong with you, I step up.
Yeah.
So when we got together, you know, me and you just started, I think it's been the last 2 years since Carlitos died that we've been getting closer to Christ, me personally.
Yeah.
And it kind of, and that's the beautiful thing. Since we have that we fit our roles so well, we both started growing closer to Christ, like at the same time. I mean, a lot of things triggered it.
Yeah, because I've always kind of been, you know, believing in God and religious. But I haven't dived as deep as we have the last few years, because I was going to church, you know, but not like we are now.
Yeah, not fully committed, like heart and soul, like surrendering our will and just asking God for guidance.
Right.
So our first, you know, time together, first 75% of our relationship was, I had a rough relationship with God, with Jesus. I was just being hard-headed. And like, I just do it on my own. I don't want to come crying to God, you know. He don't want no crybabies. Right. And then so many things happen, you know, the deaths in the family, the business, you know, us not able to sell it. So many things happened that just stripped me of my pride and left me beat up, like spiritually whooped on. Yeah. And then I just, you know, I knew I had to surrender myself to Christ. And ever since I've done that, you were already on your way to doing that. Just your journey was a little different than mine. Right. It's like, our relationship was already good. Yeah. But man, I don't know how to explain it. It's gotten so sweet. See, you know how I am. Every time I have a thought, I just start speaking it and it starts to make sense. So what it's done, it's like, I knew my purpose, my job as a man was to protect and provide. I knew that. But now it's like God has infused such a, it's like, how do I explain it? It's like my purpose is so much clearer. And I feel like I was on a team of my own. You know what I mean? Trying to, like, we're warriors, like we're warriors fighting the world. And then God came in and said, I'm going to give you armor. I'm going to give you weapons. You have a, he put he gave me like a title, under his army. And it's like, I have so much more energy, so much more power. There's no more confusion. It's like, as a man, I didn't know which direction to go. Maybe I should do this to provide for the family. Maybe I should do this. But the more I can do, the better. I was just spread all over the place. And now that's gone. Now it's like, just work hard, take care of my health, take care of my family, and trust God. And since I've done that, I've had such a peace in my heart. Such a peace. And I feel like I know we're going in the right direction. And God's leading it. So it's like, we're no longer just, like I said the other day, it's like we've always been a tight-knit family, and we always loved and protected each other. But we were in the jungle with no direction. We didn't know where the heck we were going. But we just knew we had to stick together. Now it's like God parted a way through the jungle and says, go this way. So it's like, it's almost like the analogy, we were in our little bubble. And we could only retreat within ourselves to feel safe. But now it's like, we no longer have to retreat into ourselves. The world has been opened up to us. The right path has been given to us. So now us as a family, we're on the perfect path. And we're doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing, because God's the one guiding us. It's not me guiding us no more. It's like, I'm guiding us, but I was blind. I didn't know where the hell I was going, but I knew we were doing it together. And now I was like, oh, I'm not blind anymore, babe. We're going this way now. We're going, let me see. We're heading that direction now. And I know this because God is guiding us. So now it just made our lives so much more sweeter. And it, it's very interesting, because I never thought I could be here 3 years ago. I never thought I could be this peaceful and this in love with God. But just through opening up, it's happened. So it's just, and that's the reason why we're here talking about this, because our relationship was good already, but then when we put God in the middle of it, it made it it made it beautiful. And but go ahead. Well, I mean, what about you?
I don't know where to start or what to talk about.
Okay, let's just say how our relationship before and how it's changed.
Well, you were talking about me being a traditional, like, or feminine, traditional. I know they're kind of separated, but
okay. Well, why did you become that way? I know why. What example did you see? Okay, we can talk about this.
That's where I was going.
The example. Who was the example for you, or what motivated you to be that way? And then how I've been barking at you to tell you how crazy these women are, and you're like, huh? Talk about that.
Okay, so I grew up in a household with my grandparents and my mom. My grandparents were the lead of the house, and they were very traditional. They married when they were young. My grandfather worked. My grandmother worked until she had children. When she had children, she stayed home, and he provided, and she cared for the kids. That's just the way it was. And then when I was living in the home, it was the same thing for me. Grandpa still provided. My mother lived there. She was kind of like a big sister. I mean, she was mom, but she was there because grandma took care of me, right? So that was the roles that I saw. It was very, very traditional. She cooked me breakfast, lunch, and dinner. She helped with homework. Grandpa was there to discipline, make me eat my food, and provide. He provided. He still, when I was a kid, he was still working. So I had that role model, and that's the way when I was a child, I grew up thinking, I'm going to grow up and I'm going to meet my husband and we're going to have kids and I'm going to stay home with them just like grandma. So that was the example I had. And I did, growing up watching little Disney things or whatever, it was always that Prince Charming, right? But then, and I always thought that this is the way all women are supposed to be and think. And it's just our natural instincts to want to nurture and care and be there for our husbands and support them. So it's just our natural thing. So when, you tell me about all these women being that way, I'm like, I just don't get it.
It started when Lisi was like 9 or 10. So our daughter, I started seeing some symptoms of feminism creeping into her mind. Like she had this weird fear of like guys and she just was like, "Ugh," towards guys, and I'm like, there's no reason for that, you know. And I just started kind of paying attention, and I was like, you know what? It's because there's this message in the culture, in the ether. Men are bad. Like women are goddesses, and men are like a subspecies. So I started telling Mama D over here, like, you know, we need to start helping her, start setting the example. You need to start talking to her and showing her that that's the devil's influence, plain and simple. The devil wants to have women not trust men and be independent of women be independent of men, because without masculine men there's no true leadership, and women are left to make decisions based on their emotions. And we needed to pull Lisi away from that and show her, like, no, you know, I mean, what you have here in our home is beautiful, and it's for a reason. It's not an accident. It's not an accident.
Right.
It's not an accident. So, and she's gotten a taste of that by spending time with she's 18 now, with some of her girlfriends. She's got a, oh God,
No.
Okay,
No,
never mind. I can't say because she might watch this.
Yeah.
But she's got a taste of, she's seen examples in her life of bad relationships. She's seen examples of promiscuity from females that grew up with single moms. And it's like, I'm not bashing on women, but it's just statistics don't lie. Single homes or kids that are raised by weak fathers and single mothers turn out to be, girls turn out promiscuous, and guys turn into criminals. So I just started telling you all these things, and she's like, I don't see it. How many years has it been that it finally clicked?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Before we left Hawaii.
Yeah, it was hard for me to understand, because I just don't think that way. And even like...
Wait, let me say, men. Those type of women are out there. Good women who have traditional values. I got lucky. But go ahead.
Yeah, I did. I had a really hard time, because I just, even with other people in our lives explaining to me, you know, certain circumstances with females, and I'm like, I don't get it. Like, why would they be that way? Like, I don't understand. I can't put myself in their shoes, because I'm not that way. I don't think that way. So it's so hard to like comprehend until, you know, I start seeing some of this stuff, and I'm like, wow, how can they be so not good? Yeah, it is. It is
brainwashing.
It is.
So
and it's like, you're never gonna get into heaven that way.
Yeah, but it's just it's like, I don't know if I said this in the other video, but me and you have talked about this. But it's just, God created men and women, and together, I mean, that's the formula, like man and woman together in their traditional roles. Traditional roles, I shouldn't say it. Men and women in traditional roles is the formula for success in life. Plain and simple. Yeah. It is. Because a man, you can get I said this before, I know this, you can get a good man, you give him a loving woman who supports him and is cooperative with him, she will push that man to great heights. And that his success will benefit the whole family. Right. And when a man is successful like that, he's concerned about his health, he's concerned about his finances, and he's concerned about his family's souls. If he gets introduced to Jesus Christ. So that's the formula that will defeat the devil, like plain and simple. You put God in the middle first. You get a man who's been raised right, who works hard, who wants to provide, which most men want to. Most men get so much pride from providing, from doing something that matters. And you give him a loving woman who's feminine, who's not a promiscuous cochina, and you put them together, that will defeat the devil. So that's why there's such a huge push to divide men and women in the United States, in Canada, and Australia. It's happening the most.
Okay.
You know, since we've been on our journey with God, I mean, we've dug in. I don't know if we should talk, not in this video, but we just, you know, this fight against feminism, I guess, or this waking up to feminism, it happened before we came to Christ, right? I've always had a love for God and respect Him, but I didn't surrender myself to Him. Yeah. So this pushback against feminism happened before we surrendered ourselves to Christ, and ever since we did, they've come together. So it makes so much sense why it's happening. It just people, whoever's listening, understand the devil, Satan, he's real, and he is working overtime to keep man and woman from working together as a team. That is the number one thing that will defeat him. And I mean, even I could tell him about the time Lisi, our daughter, was this last year, or this was this year, the feminism. Yeah, so she got a hold of us, and she was saying how
she was struggling with an essay for school.
There it goes.
And she was like, Mom, I just can't I can't get this essay, something, I keep trying and I just don't understand it. I don't get it. And I was like, well, what is it? And so she said, oh, it's about, we have to read this, pretty much putting her in the mindset of a feminist.
Yeah. They gave her a story or something, right?
Like an article.
An article, and they were asking her, how would you have responded or dealt with this using the mindset of a feminist? Right? So it's basically forcing her to think of herself as oppressed and as a woman, a girl that needs to fight for her rights. And so I called the school anonymously. I said, look, I'm not saying who I am or who my daughter is, but she's in your class. I left a message. And you guys are forcing her to do this article based on feminism. We don't believe that in my house. We come from a traditional household. We respect God. My wife and I get along beautifully. I'm traditional. She's traditional. You guys need to stop trying to propagandize our daughters or these girls. They don't need to think as a feminist. And then what was it, like a week later?
A week later, she said that they gave her an alternative, or the whole class alternative for this assignment, so that she could do something else, and it had nothing to do with feminism.
Exactly, and it's just. But that's what I'm saying. They're pushing it on these young girls. They are teaching young girls to success.
There are boys in the class too, so they're teaching them also.
Feminizing boys.
Yeah.
But the girls are the ones the message is hitting home with.
Oh, of course.
They're the ones that are going to adopt this mentality and live it out. The boys are just going to try to.
They'll adopt it and think, oh, women are so oppressed.
They're going to try to. Like when picture Lisi in her class, right? And she goes, yeah, I'm oppressed and equal rights, equal whatever the hell. The boys in there that think she's pretty, they're gonna be like, okay, and they're just gonna try to conform to what she wants. They're not gonna believe it.
Yeah.
They're just gonna, like, men will always try to please women in society.
Right.
If the majority of women are saying we're oppressed, men are pigs, there's a lot of weak men in society that aren't logical that will say, okay, yeah, we're bad guys. You're the queen. What do you want us to do? Teach us, lead us. And that behavior from these weak men encourages that delusion in the women. So it's just, and I've seen this play out so many times in my real life all the time, It's just, there's this men out there, even if women listen to this, which I don't think so. I mean, we barely got any subscribers, but maybe a year from now, when we get more subscribers and people go through our videos, if God wants that, that's what happens. I want everybody to just think about to themselves, like, men, when you get around women that you don't know, don't you feel this overwhelming urge to just kind of be careful and like a fear, like you can't say the wrong thing because something bad might happen, like you can't speak your mind. So what that does is it encourages men to be deceptive and not want to engage and help women. So, and we see this happening where women are in trouble and men just go, oh, I ain't gonna help, I just leave alone. Yeah. So the desire to want to protect women is being tainted, right? So men are going to start going their own way, and women out there too, when they get around men, do they feel this unnatural fear? You know what I mean? It's just, people got to wake up and check themselves. The majority of men I know in my life are good guys, and I've said this before, and I think that's the thing with you, that that helped you a lot. All the men in your life you loved, your uncles, your stepdad, your grandpa, even your dad, all the men in your life. That was a big thing for you.
Yeah.
They were all good guys who worked hard, who loved you.
Yeah.
So you were fortunate with that.
No, yeah.
That was really fortunate for you, and it helped you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because you're naturally just submissive.
The bad part about that is I trusted blindly.
Yeah.
Thinking that all guys were that way. When
yeah,
they
that's true.
Weren't. But they were good men. Yeah.
Your Salt was. You said he didn't have his father in his life, right?
No.
And he had a toxic mom. So that's another example of a guy who was raised without that father figure, and his mom was overwhelmed and stressed and mean to him. Like my dad was in my life most of my life. I mean, he left when I was 14, 15, but he was still around. He split with my mom, but he was very masculine. He was very strong. And he taught me to be a problem solver. He taught me to stand up for what's right. He taught me to fight. He taught me all these things. And, for that reason, I think is why I never ended up with any baby mama drama or ended up in any relationship with any crazy ex of mine. They could have, so many times I could have got locked down and trapped. I know it was God now. God's like, nope, I got plans for you. You know what I mean? And he saved me from it. But, through God's grace, here we are. And I know our relationship can be an example for a lot of people. And when I say we don't fight, I mean it. Me and this one, we don't fight. If we have a disagreement, I like having disagreements. I do.
Yeah,
Because it's stimulating for me to tell her this is what I think, and she's like, well, I think that, because her perspective, if I feel like she's not going to agree, I'm usually right. But then there's an opportunity to learn, because she's going to give me her perspective, and her perspective is, there's many times her perspective is one I can't see, so I get to see another perspective besides my own, which broadens my mind. So anytime I'm going to disagree, I'm like, yes. What do you think about this?
Yep.
And you're like, I think this and that. I'm like, damn, that's a good perspective. Right?
Yeah. True.
And that's what happens. And that's the beauty. And it's not, I mean, we're fortunate because we ended up together. And we're fortunate that we both have, I sit in my masculinity very much so, and you sit in your femininity. And honestly, the way I grew up, it could have gone a lot of other ways. I could have been a criminal. I could have been, who knows?
Yeah.
Could have been a man whore. But we're lucky. I mean, it's not luck. It's God. God guided us, and I know we have a purpose now. And we're doing this video today is because I want to show people an example of people who got together. She had passed, had kids. I didn't care what anybody said. Oh, girl with kids. I was like, I'm not. Because I'm secure in my masculinity, I let my mind, my logic make the decisions for me. I sat, I looked at the situation, it made sense, I moved in, and now all those people that were like, oh, what about? They're all like, man, you're lucky. I was like, well, shit.
Yeah.
Because I'm not weak, I'm not a little beta that, oh my God, people are criticizing what I'm doing, I better please everybody else. Screw that. I do what I know is right because I'm a freaking man.
Right.
And that sometimes I learned the hard way, but this is one choice that I made and we made together that ended up well, and our lives have blessed a lot of other people. A lot. I mean, I've talked to a lot of young men and gave them counsel in their relationships, and when they follow it, it works well for them. And it comes from experience, you know. And you know what? It's been 13 years, something like that. 12, 13 years. 13 years, and when I say it's gotten better, it has. It's hard to believe.
Yeah.
And one thing me and her say all the time is like, you know, a year ago, we were in this situation. Did you ever think we would be here now?
Yeah, we talk about that a lot.
Man. I wonder where we're going to be next year.
Uh-huh.
And it's just the love grows stronger.
Yeah.
The love grows stronger. And it's truly, as a man, it's me being able to provide for my wife and take care of my kids and be that leader fulfills my purpose more than I ever expected. And now that I put God as my leader, there's nothing. What else is left? Let's make more babies. No, you can't no more.
No more.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. What else? You want to share something else? Something for the ladies, just in case they answer.
I don't know.
Give these women advice, like, you know, like these young girls who like that just want to go make a bunch of money and be, you know.
What's that gonna take you? What's that gonna get you though?
Exactly.
I don't know. I think, you know, I'm not a materialistic person, so I've always talked about how, like, you know, you're not gonna take these things with you to the grave.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in all this flashy stuff or status or anything like that, because what is that gonna give you?
I know what a good one is. It's like, since you've been able to stay home and be with the kids, how important that is to you as a mother?
It's really important.
It's hard, I know that.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the hardest full-time extra overtime jobs you have, but it's so rewarding though at the same time, because you don't miss a thing. You get to see everything. You get to be there for everything for them.
Yeah.
And they love you for it.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
what better gift to give your child than your mom staying home with you all the time instead of passing you off to daycare or
the
teachers or exactly. You know,
the broken school system.
And you know, there's been times in our lives where he needs to be home and I'll be out doing whatever's got to be done. You know, because that's I'm supporting. I'm know backing you up. Like if he's sick and I can do something that's gonna help us, I'll jump in and take care of it. You know?
Exactly. And that brings us to our next point. Well, probably the last point.
Okay, yeah.
But if you get in a relationship, dudes, even girls, if you get in a relationship, it's usually girls that say it's baloney. 50-50. That is complete baloney.
No.
There's many reasons why. Okay, for one, 50-50. So let's just say, let me give you a scenario to help explain my point. So let's say, okay, me and you are like, we're going to be 50-50, right?
Okay.
And then let's say the car needs to get the oil changed, and I go change the oil. How much of my 50% that I just accomplished? Are you gonna? Who decides that? I may think, man, that took 10% of my side.
Yep.
I only owe you another 40%. You could be like, no, it's not. That took you 20 minutes. That's only 5%.
Right.
Who gets to decide
Yeah.
how much of my work is
No.
50%?
No.
You're gonna spend all your freaking time tracking each other, monitoring each other's behavior. Are you gonna create a spreadsheet and say, today I washed the dishes, I changed the diapers, I did this and that, so I'm almost at my 50%. Tomorrow, if I do this, I don't have to do anymore.
Yeah.
So the rest is up to you. I mean, it's the stupidest thing.
Ridiculous.
Me and her have never done that.
No.
What we do is, okay, I'm gonna take care of this and you take care of that.
Right.
And if I get done early and I can help you, I'll help you. And if you
Yeah.
get done, whatever, you need
Yeah.
help. If I see that she's down and she needs, I love her so much that I don't give a crap what's happening. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna do what I need to do.
Yeah.
So for me, and I know she does this too. I go out and I do what I gotta do to make money and to provide. And when I come home, if I see something, any expression on her that's off, I'm investigating. I'm seeing what's wrong, and I'm gonna try to fix that for her. If she didn't sleep well, I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Then I'll do this. You go to sleep early, and vice versa. If she sees like something's wrong with me, she's like, what's the matter? And without even question, she steps up to help me. So it's a competition to see who can make who happier. I guess. It's like I don't want to see a sad face on her. I don't want to see her tired. I don't want to see her stressed. I want to do what I can within my power to make sure she's okay.
Right.
That's what we do, and it works very well.
Yeah,
and we just kind of
vice versa for sure.
Yeah, she does the same. We just fell into those roles. Why? Because she knows I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing as a man, that I'm good at, and she's doing what she's supposed to be doing as a mom. She's so much more nurturing, and she's so much better at being home and handling things with the kids at home. I'm good when I grab them and I take them out of the house. Let's go somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't want to be home with them. I'm like, I go crazy. Just take them somewhere. But see, if she were to do things my way, that's unsustainable. She can't take them out of the house every day, spending a bunch of money and burning through gas. And she would go crazy. I could, but she couldn't. So it's like, you know, the type of work I do in sales, it pays big money. She couldn't do sales. I'm a sales dude. It's like we know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and we support and encourage each other and each other's roles, and support each other where there's support needed, and it just works well.
Right.
So never 50-50 is the biggest scam. It's like
no, it's 100% and 100%.
It's just like
That's
that.
it.
It's like that conventional wisdom crap that just floats around and memes. Oh, 50-50. It should be 50. Whoever says that, run away from them, because they haven't thought through it logically.
No.
It's impossible to be 50-50. And if you're trying to do it, you're going to spend so much time and energy, you're going to end up hating each other.
Right.
Just love each other. She needs help, help her. I need help, help me.
Yeah,
But her problem is she tries not to ask for help, so I got to force help.
Yeah.
I don't mind asking for help.
Not like yesterday
What?
when I was like, hey, can you cook up that meat?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see, and it was just that simple. Like,
Yeah, but you had a hard time asking me to do stuff.
I did for a long time. Yeah.
That was part of her baggage from before that she carried into
exactly.
this relationship. And I told her, I was like, just ask me, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. It took me a while, but actually I started.
And I had to encourage her. See, that's what a good couple does. I saw that she was struggling with something, and I was directly involved with it. She had a hard time coming to me, asking me for help with certain things.
Right.
To me, I have absolutely no problem helping at all. I'm a man. I want to help.
Yep.
You got a problem? Let me fix it.
Especially when it has to do with like our family.
Yeah,
Like, of
especially
course.
when it has to kids or
Yeah,
anything.
exactly.
But see, that's the thing. Anything you ask me to do is directly going to affect our
Yeah,
family,
it
because
is.
we put our family first. We put God first.
Yep.
But here on this earth, our energy, our nurturing goes into the kids in this family. Every decision I make, my family's attached to it. There's not one decision I can make that is not attached to my family.
Exactly.
And that's what as a man, that's what I'm supposed to do. And what I was said earlier, I didn't get a chance to say, is like I submit to her too. How do I submit?
Oh yeah.
Because I could very well go out and hook up with a bunch of girls. I could very well go and spend time with my buddies and do the type of things that take my time and energy away from her. I mean, hooking up with other chicks that's a deal breaker, right?
Right.
But hanging out with my buddies, doing other things outside of the house, that's just fun for me and only me. I don't do that. I surrender that, and I give it up, and I move past it, and I submit my time, my energy to this family. I would lay my life on the line to protect anybody in this house. That's me submitting. If somebody comes here and threatens this family, they're going to hide, and I'm going to deal with the problem. That's submission from a man. My life is forfeit for her. And in exchange, if I need her help, if I'm hungry, whatever it is I need, because I'm out there risking my life, she's gonna do for me. It's a very fair exchange, right?
Yeah.
She gave birth. That's something I could never do.
Yeah.
You know what
And
I mean?
I think too, just to be clear, when you say that you submit to me and you don't go out and go do all that stuff, it's not like he doesn't go out and hang out with buddies from
Yeah.
time to time.
Yeah.
Absolutely, but it's not every weekend he's gone and I'm the one here. Like, no.
And see, the thing with that too, other guys need to go out and do the guy thing. That's because they catch so much stress and
home,
crap
yeah.
at home. They
Makes
need
sense.
to detach.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I want to be here on my spare time because it's
Exactly.
fun.
And try and bring your buddies over here to come hang out.
Yeah,
right?
and that's I actually love doing that.
Yes,
When my
you do.
buddies come,
Yeah.
then I can show them what a real marriage is supposed to be like. And
Yeah.
that's why I tell everybody when I meet them for the first time, come to my house and see what a real marriage is supposed to be like. That's what I tell them because it's true. They come over and you like welcome them, you give them love, you're not giving me a hard time. You know, before I started following Christ and we were in Hawaii, I used to look at girls' butts with my friends. Ooh, look at that booty. And she's sitting right there like, yeah, she got a nice butt. You know? Because she knows I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just enjoying the view.
And I'm secure in our relationship
Exactly.
and what we have.
It's
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
respecting me as a man. My life is forfeit for this family. So she's not gonna tell me what I can and can't look at. She's gonna let me be a man and respect my judgment, respect that I trust her, that I love the family, and I would never disrespect her or this family. So that's a sneak peek on us.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it, huh?
Yeah, it's all raw and real.
This is shooting from the hip.
Shoot. Is that gonna be your thing?
Aloha.
Aloha.
Okay, that's it. Until next time. Bye bye.